What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Comics Advice. Today, man, we're going to kick it off right away. All right, you got Absolute Superman, take on Superman. Absolute's coming in hot. He's like, die. The blast hits Clark with the micro-concentrated heat of a supernova. It's as if the boy can funnel the sun's energy through his gauntlets, right? But the cape is what really catches Clark off guard. It's like cosmic dust the young fighter can shape, and the dust itself is from Krypton. So you can see right away, Clark Kent is gonna have his hands full. But as he's getting that work from Absolute Superman, here comes Wonder Woman to potentially save the day, right? But before she can pull him off, here comes Absolute Wonder Woman. So at first you had Wonder Woman grabbing Superman, and then Absolute Wonder Woman comes charging in, bang, knocks her off. Then you go down here, all right? You got Absolute Batman, and you got Lex Luthor. Now this is going to be interesting, okay? Because the one thing to remember here is Luthor's suit has enough energy left for one last big blast. So does he take out Absolute Batman right here? Does he use his last blast on that? Let's take a look right here. So this person coming at him is Absolute Batman. So he opts for elephant tranquilizers instead. He goes, ha, sweet dreams. At which point Loser opts for plan B. Shoot him, Joker, shoot him. And you can see where Joker shot, right? So, and Joker's like, I'd actually like to switch sides. And Booster's like, you can't. You will forfeit your chance to win the tournament. I mean, I got to kill a Batman with a bang, so I'm good. Why not? Besides, Darkseid should have 4 horsemen, not just 3. Very well. Oh, great heart. So now you got Joker joining the Absolute guys, taking on Superman and Wonder Woman and Lex, right? So this got interesting real quick. So as we keep it going, all right, you got Clark down, you got Wonder Woman down, and you got Lex down. All right, all from the Absolute universe. And Clark's like, Booster, who are these beings? Wonder Woman goes, Cal, when I asked Barda about the heart of Apocalypse weakness, she said that the heart, it corrupts, all right? Lex is like, what are you saying? That we appeal to these creatures' gentler nature? Bush is like, they have no gentler nature. This is what they were born for, and now they have fulfilled their destiny. And Wonder Woman's like, well, what about you? And Lex goes, I heard from Grodd that we were betrayed, but I would have never guessed it was you, Booster Gold. And then you hear a voice from Booster Gold saying, don't blame poor Booster. He isn't at fault. My will is undeniable. So as you can see, Darkseid has completely corrupted Booster Gold. And Superman says, Darkseid. He says, nice to see you again, Kryptonian. Now my horsemen, kill them all. So just right away, off the rip, we know that Darkseid controls Booster Gold, right? Joker has now switched sides to fight with them. And now they're short staffed, all right? So we jump to Wonder Woman saying, run her down, Pegasus. Thank you. After all this time, I finally get to lasso an actual horse, all right? Talk to me. When my lasso touched you, I sensed nothing but Darkseid's essence. There must be more. Absolute Wonder Woman goes, huh, I have a lasso too, right? It's called sacrifice. And what happens is, instead of confessing something or, saying something, she can actually turn herself into any type of animal, right? So essentially a shapeshifter. And it goes, and it doesn't just make people talk. So her lasso, it's a little different, right? And then you jump back right here to Absolute Superman and Superman battling it out. At the same time as Clark and the boy rocket towards each other yet again, Clark scans him on a cellular level. Nothing. All 3 of these beings know what he knows, wants what he wants. There's nothing to them but him, Darkseid. So essentially, scanned him down to the bare bones and cells and structure, and it's Darkseid from inside to out. Does that stop Superman from colliding with, Darkseid Superman? It doesn't, because the 2 Superman collide with the power of 52 megatons. Clark is barely able to reabsorb the energy to protect his allies from being obliterated. And Absolute goes, is that the best you can do? Which sounds like a lot right there. And then we jump right here to the new Joker, the Joker demon fighting Lex Luthor. And Joker goes, hello, neighbor. Mind if I borrow some kryptonite? Joker, you... hey, Bats, a gift from me to you. Throws it over there, and then bang, stabs Superman in the back. Take a look right here. You can see the 2 Kryptonian pieces bang right there in Superman's back. And then as Batman is about to finish Superman off, we hear a voice saying, wait, all right? And it's Joker saying, let me do it. I've always wanted to kill Superman. And out of nowhere, they all suddenly feel it. Someone coming into the competition. Joker feels it most of all right? And right in his chest is Batman stabbing this dude. Man, poor Joker. I mean, I say poor Joker, right? But, you know, he chose his own destiny right there. And Clark goes, Batman. Batman's like, hello, old friend. Superman's like, how? Batman's like, before we entered the competition, I wired a mother box to my heart, so if I died, I'd be transported out. The heart made me fight my way through heaven and hell as punishment for cheating. You mean as punishment for being Batman? Because, you know, Batman's constantly trying to outsmart everybody. And while they're in the middle of reminiscing, you see right here, all right, Absolute Superman's like, how touching. Batman's like, who's the kid? He's Darkseid. They're all Darkseid. Batman's like, then go get him. And as he tells Superman to go get Absolute Superman, Batman's like, I'll take this one. All right, which is Absolute Batman. He's like, let's do it, rich boy, because, you know, it's interesting because Absolute Batman isn't rich, right? He's working his way through, you know, all kinds of struggles, right? So he's like, let's do it, rich boy. And Batman makes a reference to the other comics saying, you know, I fought a lot of Batman lately, but that is the ugliest bat symbol I've ever seen. And you see Absolute Batman start to grow. He's like, how's it looking now? And, you know, clever Batman's like, it's growing on me, right? So, as you can see, Absolute Batman is just coming out, swinging out the gate. And then Batman's like, hold on, you've got something on your... And then bang, hits him with the bat gadgets. Hits him with the bat gadgets right away. Batman always thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. And then you look across the way. Diana is tiring. There has been no rest between rounds. No breaks, only battles. She knows she and the champions must end this soon. And she goes, enough tricks, face me. There has to be more to you than this, sister, than him. And she goes, there is only him, sister, and he is nearly here. If she says there's only him to her, I must be talking about Darkseid. So we'll see how long it takes Darkseid to show up. Clark, too, feels his body tiring. These beings, they're younger, scrappier, but they're Darkseid down to the atom. In a blast of desperation, he intensifies his heat vision, ramping up to 1,000,000 bursts per second. Essentially turns the cape on an atomic level, melding, crystallizing the particles into a cage 1,000 times harder than diamond. Only for a split second, though. All right, only for a split second before the piece is shattered by that voice, again, so familiar, coming from Booster Gold. Fight, you insects, fight. And in that moment, all of Clark's anger focuses with laser-like clarity on a new target. Clark gives it everything, every ounce of energy, physical, mental, spiritual. It's a punch that could break the world, even at God's concentration, at least for a moment. And Batman's like, are we free? Now, this is Absolute Batman. And they go, I think so, Batman. It was a nightmare. And Lex is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You think it's that easy? I'm saying you didn't free anyone, you fool. He let them go. Superman's like, wait, why? And Lex goes, why? He doesn't need them anymore because he's here. And you got Darkseid right here saying, greeting champions. And next thing you know, man, he's just going to obliterate them one by one by one. Now, here's where it gets interesting. As everyone else gets obliterated, all right, Superman is still left. As you can see, he fought through it all, right? And I think it might have been from some of that Omega energy he had kind of stored up. But then he notices behind him Lex Luthor. Now, remember what I said before. Luthor has one more blast. And Superman says, come on, Lex Luthor, let's do this together. You heard him. He's waiting. He's waiting, Superman. He is. He's waiting for a winner. No, Luthor. And it's at this moment that Lex uses his suit, one final blast, to win. Now, it goes into a little bit more detail after this because you talk about how did the Absolute Universe get into here, and you go and look, and essentially Saturn Girl brought them in from the future, right? And she starts to read Darkseid's mind. Okay, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Because all of life, past, present, and future, are meaningless. There's only Darkseid. But for a moment, she saw a glimpse of something else. A light that shined, a creation of a different kind. If you know who that is, you know. What happens now with Luthor, Darkseid, the future Saturn Girl? We'll see what happens. All right, so that being said, let's go wrap it up. Comics Advice is out. I'll catch you next one. Take it easy. Peace.